Hey y'all, so I realized that I've never talked about, excuse me, my experience flying before, and I always have thought about making a video and then I just always forget, so I'm gonna do that now. Um, so I've flown 5 different times since coming out as trans, and 3 of those times were before I had top surgery. So the first time I flew was October 2016 to go visit Natasha, and um, I was 3.5 months on T, just about almost 4 months on T. Um, and that time I wore my binder and my packer to go through security. I never experienced airport security, since before transitioning, so I wasn't sure what to expect, and that was how I was comfortable presenting in public at the time. So I went through. I honestly don't remember if they scanned me as male or female, but my chest and my crotch both lit up on the screen. Um, and I'm guessing that they read me as female because I was patted down by a female, and usually you're patted down by the same gender. So, had to get patted down. So that was uncomfortable. Not fun to be the one that's, getting patted down and having attention drawn to you. So the second time I went to visit her was in March of 2017. So I was 8 months on T. I had like a little bit of facial hair, but reflecting on my last experience where I got patted down going through security with a backer, binder and a packer, I decided to not wear either of them because I knew that I would have time to change when I got to Ohio because I was going to have to wait for her for like an hour to pick me up. So I had time to change, put a binder and packer on, and so I figured maybe I won't get patted down if I'm not having, the binder and the packer set off the screens. Wrong. My chest still set off the screen. They had scanned me as male. They figured out I had a chest. They rescanned me as female, and I passed. But first they had to pat me down again. So that was crappy to be like read as male, scanned as male, and then they went, oh wait, just kidding, because you could tell I had something going on because I was wearing a sweatshirt like this, but I had to take it off, so just wearing a t-shirt, it was pretty obvious the boobage, so that was uncomfortable. And then by this point I just started to assume that every time I fly I'm going to get patted down, because my body's not going to match either of their scanners. It's not going to match the female, it's not going to match the male. As if I was binding, it would set off the female. So, the third time I flew was in July of 2017, and I was going to my cousin's wedding. I was just over a year on T, so totally passing. And that time I knew going into it that I was going to get pat down because I was wearing my binder and my packer, because we were pretty much going right from the airport to meeting up with family. I wouldn't have any in-between time to travel. So I did, in fact, get patted down at the airport. My sister was there. It was wonderful, and it was just kind of like this is normal. This is what it is. When I go to the airport, I'm going to get patted down by security. And by that point, it was normal. I'd gone through, by that trip, I'd been through airport security 6 times, on either end of the flight, either end of my trips, and gotten patted down every single time. So, I was here in February of 2018, and I was post-op surgery, so that was the first time flying without a binder, but I was still packing at that point, and I knew it was kind of risky to wear the packer, but at that point, like, that's just how I felt comfortable going out in public, and so, like, why should I have to give up that? I just want to be a normal person. So I went through security with the packer, and, kind of naively thought maybe I would pass, pass the scanner, but once again, my crotch set off the scanner. But I got patted down by a male that time and a male in July. So the first 2 times I got patted down, it was by females, so I was being read as female. And then the second 2 times, it was by males. So I guess that's kind of like a win because I was getting read as male and, therefore patted down as male. So I went in to that kind of expecting to be patted down, kind of hoping not to, but of course I was again patted down. On both ways on that trip. So this past trip was the only time I've not been patted down because I don't wear a Packer anymore, and so I went through security with no problem. Because right now in Missouri, if you didn't figure out, like, this weird background is not my apartment. So, hopefully on the way back, also I'll have no issue. I don't expect I'll have any issues. There's nothing on me that would, set off something. But that was definitely a different experience because I've come to believe, like, oh, I'm just going to get patted down every time I fly, which causes anxiety. Don't really enjoy being touched around the waistband or up in the crotch. It's just a little bit of a trigger point for, someone with PTSD from sexual assault to be. Even though I know they're touching me, I'm not surprised by it. It just is a trigger point. But I still had some anxiety about flying with my testosterone. So, ouch, sorry, I'm kneeling right now, so my knee's starting to hurt. I have never flown with my shot. The times I went to visit Natasha was always a long weekend, and so like I didn't end up hitting my shot day when I was there. And then last time I came here, I think I just skipped my shot because I was here. I don't know if I was here on a Tuesday. I honestly can't remember. I think I came like Wednesday. I think I came after my shot day, so I don't think I skipped it last time I was here. But this time I've been here for a whole week. I leave tomorrow. I got here last Saturday, so my shot days are on Mondays. So I was gonna be having to do a shot here, and I didn't want to have to fly with my testosterone. I've had that. I've heard. I mean, that's fine, but I just was like, I really, I don't want any more attention drawn on me than I have to. So I came up with a way to skip my shot. So the few weeks leading up to this trip, I moved my shot back like 2 days every single week. So I usually do it on Mondays. The week of Thanksgiving, I did it on that Wednesday. And then the following week, I did it on a Friday, which was the day before I left. And then I'm going to do it tomorrow when I get home. And then I'm going to skip the one I would normally be doing on Monday and, do it the following Monday and then be back on my usual Mondays. But, I mean, I spent time specifically shifting my shot, a couple days for the weeks leading up to it so that I wouldn't have to fly with my testosterone and deal with that and draw attention to myself as a transgender person. I'm very lucky that obviously I have my ID changed. I haven't had any issues with that. I've never flown internationally since transitioning. My passport still has my old name and picture because I've not updated it at all. Hopefully, I want to try and make a video with my friend Finn, who's transgender, and he's flown internationally since then, and he had like some issues getting his passport changed, and he said that he would be willing to talk about his experience with the international flight and being transgender. So, hopefully, I'll get to that eventually. Obviously, it took me a while to make this video because I've been flying for the past 2 years now since transitioning and forgot to make a video about it. Honestly, I think it was too, like, unsettling at first to, like, always be patted down, and it always was so defeating to just, like, know that I wasn't going to match the scanner. No matter what selection they made, something was going to set off the scanner. It just felt bad. It's like, I just want to go through airport security like everybody else and not, have an issue. But definitely since top surgery, it's been a lot better. And now that I don't wear a Packer, it's definitely a lot better. But, for some people, that's not the reality. They have to wear a binder and they want to wear a Packer and stuff like that. So it's not a fun time to fly when you're trans. There's just a lot of other anxieties besides just the normal, am I going to make my flight on time kind of anxieties. Like, I feel anxious about the bathrooms because it's crowded, especially in Washington, D.C. airport. I mean, that bathroom was crowded every single time I went to use it. I had a 3-hour layover, so I just felt awkward because there was 3 stalls and a bunch of urinals, and I had to wait for the stall, obviously, to pee, while these other guys are in there pooping for like 15 minutes. So, it felt awkward to just stand there and wait. And people just assuming that I'm waiting to take a dump, and I'm like, I really just want to pee and leave. That's when I really start to feel the dysphoria. And so, flying can be a little bit of a lot for me, but worth it to go visit people that I care about. But yeah, so that's my experiences flying. Yeah, I'd love to hear other people's experiences with TSA, or just flying in general. Anxieties about that. Yeah, that's my experience. Obviously, mine's only mine. I don't know about anybody else's. So, yeah, that's that. I'm gonna go take a shower. My hair looks crazy, so that's why I opted to wear a hat. yeah, I think that's all I got for now. Hope you guys are having a great week, and I'll talk to you next time.